Today, we are looking into a story about turning a global pollution problem into a surprising solution for our roads. Get ready, because we're talking about how recycled cigarette butts, yes, those tiny, annoying pieces of trash, can actually make the roads you drive on stronger and more sustainable. But before that, did you know cigarettes were once considered a health product? Stick around, because a little later, we'll dive into the wild history of cigarette marketing and how we discovered the real dangers of smoking. First, let's talk about the scale of the problem. Every year, humans throw away trillions, yes, trillions, of cigarette butts. The World Health Organization estimates smokers discard around 4.5 trillion filters annually, and that number could hit 9 trillion by the end of this year. Cigarette butts are the most littered item on Earth. They're everywhere: city streets, forests, waterways, even our oceans. And here's the kicker: they decay incredibly slowly. That means the filters you toss today could still be around decades from now, leaching nasty chemicals into the environment. But what if we could turn this pollution nightmare into something useful? Researchers from the University of Granada in Spain and the University of Bologna in Italy teamed up and did exactly that. They figured out a way to use cigarette butts to make our roads more durable. Here's how it works. First, they collect the used cigarette filters and remove any leftover tobacco. The filters, mostly made of a type of plastic called PLA and tough cellulose fibers, are crushed up. The crushed filters are mixed into a special wax, pressed, heated, and cut into pellets. These pellets are then combined with recycled asphalt pavement and bitumen, the gooey stuff that holds roads together. When the pellets hit the hot bitumen, the wax melts, and the plastic fibers and cellulose blend in, making the asphalt more flexible and crack-resistant. So, does it actually work? According to the researchers, every version of the cigarette-infused asphalt they tested was tougher than the regular stuff. Not only that, but the wax in the pellets made it easier to work with the bitumen, potentially lowering the temperature needed during manufacturing. That means less energy and less pollution. It's a win-win: cleaner cities and forests, and better, longer-lasting roads. Now here's a fun and kind of shocking fact. Cigarettes weren't always seen as the bad guys. In fact, back in the early 20th century, cigarettes were actually marketed as health products. It's hard to believe, but some brands claimed cigarettes could relieve stress, calm your nerves, even help with digestion. There were wild ads suggesting that lighting up after a meal was good for your stomach. And some brands went so far as to say cigarettes could help with weight loss. Cigarette companies even recruited doctors for their ads. You'd see images of physicians in white coats happily puffing away, with slogans like, "More doctors smoke Camels than any other cigarette." It sounds absurd today, but back then, the harmful effects of smoking weren't widely known or understood. So what changed? As time went on, scientists started to investigate the real impact of smoking on our health. In the 1950s and 60s, medical research began to show a clear link between smoking and diseases like lung cancer, heart disease, and emphysema. By the 1960s, the U.S. Surgeon General issued a landmark report confirming that smoking was dangerous and addictive. The tide began to turn. Advertising restrictions were put in place, health warnings became mandatory, and public awareness campaigns ramped up. But the damage was already done. Smoking is still one of the world's leading causes of preventable death, killing more than 8 million people every year. Let's recap the cons of smoking. It dramatically increases your risk of cancers, especially lung cancer. It leads to heart disease, strokes, and chronic lung diseases. It causes premature aging and harms nearly every organ in your body. And of course, discarded butts pollute the environment. So here we are. Over a century after those wild, healthy cigarette ads, we're finally turning the tables on cigarette pollution. By recycling cigarette butts into stronger, greener roads, we're solving two problems at once: making our planet cleaner and our infrastructure tougher. What do you think about driving on a cigarette butt road? Let us know in the comments below. If you enjoyed this video, hit like, subscribe, And ring that bell for more surprising science stories from around the world.